The show is about to start. Thank you for your cooperation. Enjoy the show, and please come back and visit us again.
Evenings, Love Sport Radio, 558 AM, DAB, and online via the radio player. And Alexa, don't forget her as well, whoever she is, and your Google Home, whatever technological device you've got, you can talk to us. It's all right, time to talk all things Wimbledon, the mighty Wombles. Joining me this evening, Kev and Stuart from the 9 Years podcast. Guys, we had quite an emotional show. Where were you last week, by the way?
I was at home, wasn't well.
You were at a concert, weren't you?
No, that's a guy who's just playing.
I heard he was at a concert. No? Concert? No,
I was at home.
Right, okay, we'll have to be... The Draper brothers are not to be trusted, are they?
No.
They're not to be trusted. I heard one of them, enjoys dressing up as a Womble. Now and then. It's a strange one. Anyway, where are we right now? A 1-1 draw. The mob from 70 miles away got handed a beating. It was brilliant. But we've done ourselves no favours here, have we, Wimbledon? We just can't seem to just grab the 3 points and hold on.
No, the performance was bad yesterday. Great start. It's one of the things we've been saying about, about the fans getting behind the team and that, but you need the team to come out all firing, and yesterday they did. We had a good 10-15 minute spell where Scunthorpe were on the ropes, got a goal, didn't get our second. I think that's our problem. We just couldn't kill the game off. And when you look at Scunthorpe, when you look at their bench, they've got a decent bench. Novak, McGinn from Luton, and you just knew they were going to bring the guys on. And it's just and not getting a second goal was our Achilles heel yesterday. But the performance, if you're looking at and from that side of it, was really good.
Kev, where was it won and lost?
That's a good question. I wasn't prepared for that one. I think it was won and lost probably, as Stu said, with not finishing the game off. We don't have that killer instinct maybe up front. There's so much pressure on Lyle Taylor to perform, where Cody McDonald's out for the season. Joe Piggott has concussion and missed a couple of games, may even be missing on Tuesday. I think you have to miss 2 weeks with concussion, and that'll only be 2 weeks is up on Wednesday, so he may not play Tuesday either. There's so much pressure on Lyle, and if he isn't performing, he did okay yesterday, but if he's not performing, he's not scoring, then that's where the game's won and lost, because defensively, we're not that bad. I think we're, 11th? In terms of goals conceded, we're 11th. In terms of goals scored, we're 23rd. Yeah. But yesterday, for me, was a microcosm of the whole season. Is that it's promised a lot, it wasn't terrible, and then ultimately it disappointed. And it was just that to lead for 82 minutes and look comfortable for 82 minutes, really. The goal they scored was a simple goal, but it was the best chance they had.
The funny thing is, Neil Ardley's come out in the Scunthorpe press, I presume they've just gone and sort of taken the quotes off it, and has said that, he's told them how disappointing he was to concede the goal. He said, their goal is really poor. It was stuff you would expect at a schoolboy level, and that is what is disappointing. For most of the time today, we defended brilliantly. The players are down in there because with 5 minutes to go, the 3 points are on the board. So I just don't know where it is. Was it a lapse in concentration? Was it a case of they were, they felt they were home and hosed?
Yeah,
it's difficult.
The goal's a nightmare goal. And what it comes down to is, like last season, we were able to bring on Lyle. Was running around. He was running on empty by that time. So Lyle was one of those ones that would put pressure on the centre half, so not letting an easy ball out. And in the end, we had no sub to replace Lyle. And Lyle was running on empty. Their centre half steps out, plays the ball down the channel, and literally it was probably the most basic goal. I was actually level at the 18-yard area, and you saw as soon as Holmes made a run, Novak made a run on the back stick, and you sort of knew it was such an easy goal to concede. And I suppose if I'm going to concede a goal, I want to concede a goal from 30 yards or something special. But it's just that failure to get a second goal, and that's the reason why we're down there, is because we haven't killed games off this season.
That should have been a consolation goal.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve one, and they didn't deserve a draw, certainly. But if that had been a consolation goal, you kind of think, OK, well, we'll settle down now. We've got 5 minutes to go. We'll see this out. But it wasn't. It was an equaliser, and it was potentially a huge loss of 2 points.
Tweeting from Gary, he says, feels like 2 points lost. Scunthorpe gave nothing to the game. We move on to Tuesday against Charlton, which is going to be tough. But I feel we can take points off everybody left, in brackets apart from Wigan. Still feel we can do it, but my head says we will go down. #Dons. Gary, I don't like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, if you look at the stats, Aaron, we've got to do something now. We've really got to get 9 points, probably, from 6 games. So it means you've either got to do 3 wins or 2 wins and 3 draws. We haven't done that in the last 10 games. I think it's 5 points from the last 6 games. So if you look from a stat point of view, I think yesterday, I was really disappointed yesterday because to get a win now would have meant 2 more wins, which is achievable. It did feel like a defeat yesterday. I kept saying we did our Facebook Live after the game, and I kept saying we lost, and actually, no, we hadn't lost.
What was the atmosphere like, though, in the ground, during the game, before, during and after? Describe it to me.
Yeah, good. There also been some stuff in the from Erik about fans.
I want to come on to that.
I'm sure you will.
We will come on to that.
Yeah, I felt it was good. People kept saying, I sit in the seats who don't notoriously sing. But they were starting a Lyle Taylor song, but the players led that. The players started at such a good tempo that actually you couldn't help but get in behind the team. That's the difference. But it was good yesterday, and even when we conceded a late goal, I said to Kevin beforehand, you could hear a pin drop when the goal went in. It felt like a very significant goal, but nobody booed, nobody got on top of the players, and I think the fans were happy that it was a really good performance.
Funny you say that because Don's Bibles tweeted and said, I think it was a great team effort yesterday. I think if we keep playing like we did in the first half, we could 100% stay out. I mean,
yeah, I'll agree with that.
Wimbledon have got to play like that every game, and the problem is the performance are consistently inconsistent. Am I right?
That's the fear that we the first half an hour yesterday. I will stick my neck out. You can't see me do that, but I am sticking my neck out.
Great radio, Kevin.
Well, I know I'm trying to talk in pictures. I'm not doing a very good job. I'm sticking my neck out and saying that first half an hour was as good as we've played this season at home in the first half an hour of a game. I thought we played really well. We attacked them from the kickoff. We scored after 4 minutes. We hit the bar after 12, 13 minutes. We had other chances. Goal is allowed. But we looked good. Now, the problem is that we said at half-time, as long as we play like that in the second half, we'll be fine. But we all went away thinking, but we might not. That's the thing. That's as you said, we're consistent in the fact that we're inconsistent. Now, Tuesday, we're playing a better team than Scunthorpe, who are in better form than Scunthorpe. We go out and win that 4-0. Or we could be hammered 4-0. We just don't know what to expect. It kind of makes looking forward to a game a bit of a chore because it's the hope that kills you.
You can have your say this evening on Love Sport Radio. 0208 70 20 558. It's your opportunity to come on and talk all things Wimbledon. At Love Sport Radio on Twitter is our handle. At 9 Years Podcast is theirs. Make sure you come on, have your say. This is your platform, London. This is your chance to get whatever it is off your chest. As I said, Ardley in, Ardley out, Ardley all about. Whatever you want. Thank you very much to these fine gentlemen who have tuned in from their recording studios. Bit of late night, jamming.
Yeah, they're good bands.
Bit of late night jamming, Hello, fellas. Come on, you dons. Thanks, guys. Follow them at these gentlemen. Let's go back to the Erik Samuelson call to arms on the official website and the programme. Right. Was he harsh? Was he right to do it? Is this the wrong time to do it? Someone debrief it because I've seen so many mixed messages. I follow, what's going on in sort of the Wimbledon, atmosphere so closely. And I've got some people who are saying, well, yes, he was right to sort of, galvanise the troops, but he was wrong in the way he's maybe worded things.
If I can take that one. Stu's nodding at me.
Go. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, I love Erik. I think he's a fantastic man. He's done a great job for us. That, I think, was slightly out of step. I'm not saying it was wrong. I don't think it was a wrong thing to do. It was as if that was written before anything had actually happened. In case lots of people start booing and there's a chance of you don't know what you do and there's a bad sub and we stick Robbo up front. Just let's say we stick Robbo up front with 10 minutes to go. People start booing. It's almost like he's written that in advance of knowing that something's going to happen at the Scunthorpe game. The fact that we played well and nobody booed and we were actually quite encouraged by the performance, it was almost as if it was preemptive. And I don't think we've had enough, to me, the people, I stand behind the home dugout in the Rygas stand, there's not nowhere near enough dissent that I hear that warranted, come on, get behind the team. We do get behind the team. As Stu said, the team need to give us something to get behind. It's a chicken and egg thing. Do you give your all as a fan and the players respond to it? Or is it the other way around? Do the players give their all and you get behind them? It's got to be a bit of both, surely.
Yeah, I was a little bit offended by what was said, because it felt to me we've been all pigeonholed of we're not getting behind a team, which I think, let's be honest with you, we got some clubs close to home. You know, if Mill had been in our position, I'm sure their fans would be on the back of.
Yeah, but this is the funny thing.
We're a friendly club, aren't we?
Exactly. This is the funny thing, that no one's not backing the team here. They just want to see an improvement. They want to see a change. They're not, this is not about being negative. We're not seeing protests like at Charlton because of the owners. This is a fan-owned club for the fans, by the fans, and you've got effectively a fan in the dugout. So when that fan is making poor calls and poor decisions, well, the other fans are going to want an input into it. So this is why I'm thinking, should there not be an open forum? I mean, the meeting, that was an AGM meeting, was moved, which I find a bit tactical because it's trying to put people off. Well, we've already organised our Saturday mornings, what we're doing before the game. I'm not here to criticise the club. I love the club and I love the people who run the club. Maybe it was actually truly a logistical issue. Maybe they had a function afterwards in a bar or a room. Who knows?
But it was cancelled in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, but this year...
That's the thing.
This year we've been frightened of communication. We're a fan-zone club, so we have a meet a manager every season. Nuwadi comes out and faces the fans. It's what you need to do. I felt around about Christmas, January, he needed to do another meet the manager and come out and explain what he's doing. Not for us to question. He's the man in his position, but he's gone very quiet, and he's in a way he's gone against the fans by going that so the stats say we won, stats say we did very well. The bank stat says we lost a lot of games. And I thought the Erik comment was just a little. It offended me. I wasn't happy with it. I feel I got behind the team every game.
Well, funny you said that. Zach Thompson has tweeted and said the club saying get behind the team seemed almost a slap in the face because even the Ardley Out crew is behind the team, just not the management.
Yep, I'll agree with that.
Everyone wants the best for the club. They just want to see them. I'm sure if Wimbledon was sitting mid-table, we wouldn't have this. Everyone would be pretty happy.
Yeah,
League One's a tough league. It's not easy. The budgets are small. Things aren't. It's not going to be as simple as bang, 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 a couple of players and we'll go up to the Championship. No, there needs to be method in the madness. But, I mean, I think Zach makes a really valid point. Even the Ardley Out crew they just want the best for the side.
Yeah, it's nothing personal against Neil. I don't think. I mean, most of us are of a certain age. I'm a lot older than Stuart, but I think we should agree with each other that Neil Ardley was a great player for us. People liked him. He's one of those players that other teams' fans liked as well. He's a good player. He's a really nice bloke, and you want him to succeed. And if he succeeds, the club succeeds, and we're all happy on a Saturday afternoon. We want that. We don't want to lose games and go down and Neil to get sacked. I don't want that to happen. It might happen, and that will make a lot of people very disappointed.
Do you think there is a real risk that he could get sacked?
Not really.
No, I don't think he gets sacked. We don't sack people, really. Even when Terry Brown went many years ago, it was done under a mutual agreement, really. I don't think we'll ever sack him. I don't see how he survives next season, if I'm being honest with you. I think there needs to be a change. My ideal scenario would be he saved us, not on the last days, don't get down to that. I'd rather be safe at Wigan or something like that. But be safe, let him go. He's had a great 5-6 years. Let's remember what he did to get promotion rather than finishing on relegation, which was really sour, really.
Yeah.
In terms of that, could we not maybe see a restructure, a director of football, someone like that come in, with Neil taking up more of a head coach capacity?
Possibly, but he's very much his own man, though, isn't he? I think now he's done his time. 6 years now. If he does look for another job in the summer, I'm sure he'll be well looked after in terms of that. If you look at when jobs are available, he's always in the running for that. So I think he's done a very good job. I would like to see someone maybe not always connected with Wimbledon. This year's been difficult because when you've got someone who's one of your heroes and who loves the club, it's very difficult to actually then be critical of that person. So in my way, I'd rather bring in someone who maybe hasn't got the connection, so we can be a bit more. There's loads of people out. I like in terms of the ex-Brentford manager. The name's forgotten now. Warburton.
Yeah.
I quite like him.
I was thinking of cakes. Sorry.
Yeah, I quite like him.
They don't make cakes.
They make
bread.
They make bread. I was thinking of bread then. There you go. I think very, very small in terms of food.
Mick McCarthy.
Really?
I think I like that.
No.
My mate said exactly the same thing as you. I quite give it a budget.
Do you think this is negative? Have you watched Ipswich over the past few years?
There's obviously, I think there's... But he's done a great on a budget, though, which is what we don't have.
I once flew to Spain on the same plane as Mick McCarthy, and I wanted to get off. about halfway across.
It's not Mick McCarthy, it's Mick McCarthy.
Mick McCarthy, yeah, I don't mind him. He's all right. He's always straight talking, isn't he? Can I ask? Do you know what I like? Someone who's actually quite used to the idea of playing for managing a fan-owned club, Paul Tisdale. I do like his cravat and his cap as well. I don't own a hat, and I like a man with a hat.
In the unlikely scenario that Wycombe Wanderers don't get promoted, what about Gareth Ainsworth? Or do you reckon he's destined for greater things? Do you think he's waiting for QPR?
He might be, but Ainsworth was unfortunate in the fact that he came to us having not missed a game in 4 seasons, and then when he came to us as a player, he was injured for 2/3 of the time he was there. That was unfortunate, and people kind of thought him as a bit injury prone, of a sick note, which is a bit unfair. But as a manager, Wycombe are not the most popular team, are they? They're known for falling over at the slightest touch. I've friends who support Southend and Brentford and Crewe and Cambridge who cannot stand Wycombe and would love to see them fail because of their tactics, and I don't really want a manager.
But they're fan-owned.
They are. It's also
they're fan-owned. He has made... I'll tell you what, on a budget, I think half the signings he's made, if Neil Lardley and co could have made that, Wimbledon would be in the upper echelons of League One. Someone as basic as Marcus Bean, he signed Luke O'Nien from Watford, who that kid is a brilliant midfielder. Yeah. Sam Saunders from Brentford. They call him the League Two David Beckham. He's a brilliant player, a proper flair player. He's got getting the best out of Nathan Tyson, who's 35. He's brought in some brilliant fullbacks. He's brought in a keeper. I'll tell you what, for Gareth Ainsworth, for someone who operates on no budget, they've done very, very well. And I'll give something to Wycombe. When it comes to raising money for their club, they have something called the 500 Club, which, it's a great idea, which is 500 people. They set up a direct debit of, some £10 or whatever. The first 500 to do it, there's a limited edition training top with their names inscribed in them. And it's such a good idea.
Very good.
Nice. They've got volunteers, and I know because I live so close to the club. I've interacted with the club for so long. They really, really, really rely on the fans. They rely on the backing of the fans. They rely on fans' donations. But Gareth Ainsworth has maximised it. I think for me, if I was Eric and Ivor, I'd try and get him. Yeah. I don't think he'll come, but who knows? Because I think they'll be playing in the same division.
It's a nice club as well. When you go to Wycombe, it's a nice club. And also, don't forget, Ainsworth's managed Echo this year. Echo is not an easy person to manage. Yeah. He's got loads of games out this year.
Plenty of games, plenty of goals. 20 past 8. Love Sport Radio. You can have your say this evening. 0208 70 20 558. Drop us a tweet at Love Sport Radio. Dan has tweeted us this evening. He said, at Love Sport Radio, I'd take Ainsworth in a shot. I love the niggly playing style. Make others hate us again. Do you think Wimbledon have become too friendly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I blame the Womble. No, I love you, Hayden.
We've said that for quite a while, haven't we? That we are a friendly club. We're a friendly bunch of people. We're a friendly bunch of fans. And when something doesn't go our way on the pitch, we kind of just go, okay, oh well. I don't like that gathering around the referee and pointing and making a big hoo-ha of, it's not your free kick, but you try and... But now I've seen the other side of it, and we don't do that. I wish we did a bit more of it. We're very I think we're accepting as fans. It's almost like we had the worst thing happen to us has happened to us already in 2002. Anything happens after that can't be as bad as that. I think almost mentally maybe we're too accepting as fans, we're too accepting as a club and too accepting as a team.
Unless the new ground is built and then the next day it gets nuked by South Korea or North Korea.
Yeah.
I think I can put that up there with 2002, and I'd feel bad for the builders who didn't finish up and sign off the job.
Yeah, I think
can't go worse than 2002.
No. I think anything that awful phrase, anything else is a bonus. For us, it is the fact that we are now talking about if we stay up. We joked the other week, if we stay up, we're going to do a 9 years podcast, Facebook Live day trip out to the away game at Sunderland. The fact we're even thinking it's remote, it's likely that we'll play away at Sunderland next season in the league game. It's madness. Sandhurst doesn't feel like 5 minutes ago, and we were playing at grounds which had never had more than 200 people. We had to get hay bales from a local farm and stand on so we could actually see. And now we may be getting to Stadium of Light. We've already played at Ewood Park and the Reebok, what that's called, and Macron and Bramall Lane.
Generic Sportswear Stadium.
Sorry, yes, the generic. Yeah, other sports manufacturers are available, as well as other bread manufacturers. Let's point that out in case anyone who's not from Warburton's is upset by that. Everything we do now is just, it's okay. Whatever happens is okay, and I think that's a bit of it's kind of seeping through to the players where, I'm not going to name any players, but certain players seem very accepting of what happens to them on the pitch. And I want to see where people get upset with Lyle because he gets upset, and Lyle gets really, really fed up when things don't go his way. But I like to see that. I don't like to see a player struggle and go, oh, well, yeah, it was my throw.
No, you want passion.
I do want passion, absolutely.
I'll tell you what, Jason Barrett has gone on Facebook and said, I'm very critical of Ardley's substitutions recently, but feel a lot of this is fear and inexperience. I don't want to see Ardley leave, but to work under an experienced manager to learn the game more. But I would love that as well. I think everyone would love that. But can you see him going from number 1 to number 2? No one wants to be demoted.
It's a good point from Jason, but if Neil was 36, yeah, but Neil Ardley's 46 years old. People forget how he looks. He's very youthful looking, isn't he? But he's 46. He's not going to. Who's going to go above him that's got more experience? He's been involved in football since he was 12, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So a long time. Someone like Dave Bassett would be perfect. But I don't think he wants to come out of retirement. Who do we get?
No,
who is there?
I don't think it would go. I don't think it'd have football. I think it's a good idea if you do a fresh approach and get someone else new in. But going back to your point about being too nice, these 6 games, I want to see. You're right. I don't want to see players going around referees and stuff. But I also want to make sure that they try and influence a decision. Because the last thing I want to do is see on the last day of the season, for argument's sake, we get Bury come down, they press referee and get a late penalty, and we don't. Something like that. I think sometimes you have to put a bit of pressure. You have to make sure the referee knows you're not going to accept every decision. But then we have a nice captain, Barry Fuller, yesterday, going around 100 miles an hour, going to last-minute tackles, and we want to, to be honest with you, we want to go through somebody. But he won't say nothing to a referee because it's just built in terms of that captaincy, isn't it?
You look at the way Scunthorpe played. Neil Bishop, their number 12, complained at every single decision. He even complained to the referee decisions that went Scunthorpe's way.
He did win.
And after probably complaining when Alan Sugar fired his wife on The Apprentice. Is that it? His wife was on The Apprentice.
Oh, I've never seen The Apprentice. Thank you. Other programmes are available. And after about half an hour, I thought, God, I can't stand this guy. I remember him from before.
I like him.
He just complains. And then after about an hour, I thought, actually, no, I'd quite like him on my team. Yeah, he's one of those players that you don't like when he's not on your side. Lyle Taylor, fans of other clubs can't stand him. Plymouth, Scunthorpe, not big fans. But he's your annoying player.
But that was the same as Akin Fenwa.
He was.
Yeah, no one liked him. This absolute battering ram going up against every centre half, and now he's doing it in League 2. I mean, to be fair, could probably do with one of them right now.
If we had him this season, we wouldn't be 5th bottom. That's I'm sticking my neck out again, poor radio. I would say we'd probably be 8 points better off. If Akin Fenwa had played 30 games for us this season, do you think that the post playoffs disassembling of the squad, I'm thinking Akin Fenwa, Aziz, forwarding on to Tom Elliott as well, do you think that was wrong? Do you think that Neil was a bit too hasty trying to ring the changes? Because we've seen that. Clubs who try and ring the changes, try and change the style that they're playing, it doesn't often work out. And I look at Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace went from a squad which was built by the likes of Allardyce and Pulis to try and play total football. They didn't score a goal in 6 or 7 games, whatever it was, and they've had to revert back to it with Roy Hodgson. Are we trying to move too fast? Possibly.
Yeah, I think so. Wimbledon is old. I've been a Wimbledon fan now for 30 years, and always play the target man. Always play the target man. I think to not have a target man was a bit crazy this year, and we're finding it. We're finding out now. We've got one fit forward. But you're right. We did try and go back. And I think if Neil Ardley had it in hindsight, I think maybe he would have got a bit different. I think he's alluded to that in his interviews and stuff, and now knows that actually what he has left now. There's no point us moaning about injuries because we're left now with the squad that he recruited because of how he recruited. But I think next year, whoever's in charge next year, I think you'll see a different approach in recruitment.
8:30, Love Sport Radio. We want to hear from you. We're going to be reading out some of your tweets next at Love Sport Radio on Twitter. You can also have your say on the phones 0208 70 20 558. Talking all things Wimbledon and more next. At Love Sport Radio on Twitter. Let's head to your social media. And 15 years Womble says Charlton's match is much more difficult now that James Corden lookalike isn't manager anymore. Scouse James Corden lookalike male at 15 years Womble. Thank you very much. Walsall is a must win. We must get 4 points from these 2 upcoming matches. We can't depend on late equalisers to get us out of trouble. Fair point.
Yeah, Charlton's a massive game on Tuesday.
Huge.
The irony is that we played Blackburn midweek and then we got the Saturday game called off. Got beat by Blackburn. Charlton were in really poor form at that time. If we'd taken them then, they'd obviously had the James Corden lookalike in charge. And I think, for all his problems or he's managed, he galvanises the fans because everyone doesn't like him. So Charlton all of a sudden become that club that it's difficult not to like. It's difficult to not like Charlton because everyone likes Charlton. In terms of all their history. But for those 90 minutes, because whoever's in charge of that team, nobody liked them. They come to Kings Meadow on Tuesday night, a totally different ball game, and it's arguably the toughest game we've got out of all the games left, along with Wigan. I'll take a draw now, which is not good enough, but I don't also want to lose. I think if we lost the game now, we're in trouble because of the momentum, but we need to win it. I think we take a draw. They're in great form.
Well, that equaliser from Scunthorpe, that 5 seconds of football where we give the ball away in our own attack and next thing they've scored, that has turned the Charlton game from a game where a draw would be okay to a game we've got to win. And if you look at football in general, the team who are in 20th at home against a team in 6th, you wouldn't ordinarily expect a home win. That's an away win 7 out of 10, maybe a couple of draws, and the home win maybe 1 out of 10. We've got to be that 1 out of 10, and it's putting pressure on the players. Already, they haven't coped that well with pressure, let's be fair.
No.
When we've won games, you look back to October, we beat Rotherham at home, fantastic on the Tuesday. On the Saturday, we lost to Plymouth and were awful. Bristol Rovers away, fantastic performance. Following game, Walsall at home, awful. We seem to, almost like the pressure of playing well is hard for them to cope with. Again, it's just a strange thing, but we look at the good performances we've had this season. They've been followed by poor ones. Bradford away, 4-0, which our friend George compared to the Liverpool victory over Man City in terms of quality.
Considering Bradford got turned over yesterday.
Yes, I know. We've told George not to say that kind of thing anymore in public, but the following game, Rotherham away, didn't play well at all. And it's just so frustrating that we, as you said from the beginning, Aaron, the inconsistency is the only thing that's been consistent.
It's all the performance you take in, isn't it? So if you take the performance in from Saturday into Tuesday night, we've got a decent chance.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's also what worries me as well is the games coming up. We go to Walsall, who's got the Turkish Messi, who can turn. He's the one player in this league that scares me that can turn a game around. And if you're in a relegation battle, Walsall are not out of this by any stretch of imagination. No. You've got one player you can rely on Saturday. He's the one, I think you man mark him. I think you do something. I'm not a lover of taking a man out of the game just for some other player, but I would still take him out of the game because he's that much of a game winner. But Tuesday night, we have to win. It's a midweek game. We love midweek games down at Kings Meadow.
We've got a good record of midweek games, haven't we?
I believe so. I hope so now.
I've been to lots of them. That's a good record. At Sellers Park, we didn't win a home game on a Tuesday for 7 years, wasn't it?
I'm not surprised. It's probably about 3,000 in a 30,000 stadium.
That's true.
It was like a morning.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. Let's go back to Twitter. I had a tweet up here. I still do have a tweet up here. Do I have a tweet up here? Because it's from Mikey T. He says, the Scunthorpe equaliser. Firstly, big up Mikey T. Absolute legend of the game. Legend of the game. Great guy. The Scunthorpe equaliser briefly saw us down in 21st place in the live table. But imagine how Rochdale must feel with their 92nd minute own goal to put us back up in 20th. This isn't over yet. Bring the noise Tuesday night and at Walsall next week. Well, he's going to be supplying part of the noise.
He will be. Yes, that's true.
Mikey, let's get some good tunes going. On Tuesday, let's pump them up. You are the man on the mic. You can do it, Mikey. We have faith in you.
I've offered to bring my own song.
Have you?
Yes, I did. We did play the FA Cup final song.
We did. I love that on
People
Saturday.
have said it's a bit of a dirty. It is quite a dirty FA Cup final song.
I love it.
But when we got to the semi-finals of 2 competitions in '97, I happened to be asked to write a song for both finals. Had we got there, and I wrote it, and it smells like Team Spirit, which is the name of the album that was on. And that got played. Chris Phillips played that for about 5 or 6 games at the end of the '97 season. The team came out to a song I wrote. Marvellous, right? I've offered that, so if I will bring the CD on Tuesday.
Well, I'm sure you could donate it to Mikey. He's a sound guy.
Absolutely, I trust him with it, but I don't lend CDs. This is another thing.
And we don't advocate piracy. He'll love
No. But if I did that, I'd be denying myself the commission anyway, of the royalties, which is only 38p.
No. What you do is you've got to get it to him on a floppy disk. You know, Mike is the kind of guy who'd appreciate it on a floppy.
He probably would, yeah.
A 3.5-inch floppy.
Verbatim one. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm sure I've got some of those in the
TDK.
What do TDK make nowadays? Anyone know?
Anyone know?
Tweet in. What do TDK do now?
That'd be a very, very good...
I'd love to see
they make video cassettes. Wendell said that. Who uses video cassettes?
That's the point. Why would they make them?
No, it's like
really?
It's yesteryear, isn't it?
No.
I don't... Do they really?
Betamax?
Maybe.
No.
But I'll tell you, I must say, if Mikey's seeing, I know he's listening, all those old classics, the Hey Jude and midweek games are great because you're working in the day and you want to just go and watch a game. But yeah, we're Wimbledon. I come into the ground yesterday loving that. I do love a bit of cheese.
And we were up and at them at the beginning of the game, so I think it definitely worked.
Nice one, Mikey. Zach Thompson has tweeted in saying Turkish Messi versus Montserratian Messi might be a good battle. I like the sound of that.
Definitely.
What about at least Jimmy Abdul? He's the Comoros Messi.
He can't get in the team at the moment.
That's very true.
Yeah. Stephen Hayward has tweeted in saying you said we have only one centre forward, but he's called Antwi. Why not try him? He's an unknown identity.
He's injured at the moment.
He's injured.
Yeah, I believe he's injured at the moment. So he was on loan. He went out and
Farnborough Town.
That's right.
Yep.
He come in and he got injured somehow.
He did.
So,
I'll tell you
I'm
what.
not too sure how it was.
Nick Draper's tweeted in as well.
Go on,
the legend, one part of the Draper brothers, never to be trusted. Am I right? No?
In that sense, yes.
Stuart, never to be trusted, the Draper brothers?
Never. They're dangerous on together.
It says, my contention with Erik's article was that it was the first time the club board has publicly discussed the first team's position this season. We've hit April and been a little in the dark as to the club's feelings on our struggles. And he said also, hi, Aaron and Stuart. I have a 3.5-inch floppy if anyone's interested.
Well, I guess the wrestling hasn't started yet.
Yeah, Nick is not joining us today because he's in a different time zone and watching WrestleMania. He's now, of course, he's still young, so he's still into WrestleMania.
Wrestling's not a sport, though.
No, we've discussed this, Aaron. Do
you know what? When I went to do my BA in sport journalism, we had an actual fight between a professor, Dr. Richards, if you're listening, absolute legend in the game. Just a very, very highly educated man, and a guy who was actually, ironically, he was one of the lead campaigners for Brexit, and they had a serious debate on whether wrestling's a sport, and it's true, it's not, because it's a predicted outcome already. So
Greco-Roman.
We'd love to have a predicted outcome Tuesday night, wouldn't we?
We would, yeah.
So that's where Nick is today. Good luck. I hope you enjoy yourself.
Enjoying him and his 3.5-inch floppy. Nice one, Nick, for the tweet. Elsewhere, you can have your say this evening. We'll be previewing the fixture on Tuesday at Love Sport Radio on Twitter, 0208 70 20 558. Dan Baker has got involved on the socials at Love Sport Radio. Eye of the Tiger, we will rock you. Boys are back in town. I presume he's talking about the tracks he wants on Tuesday rather than...
Yeah, Dan's in New Jersey, by the way. That's New Jersey. So that's probably the furthest anyone's tweeted today, is it?
Maybe.
Hello, Dan.
Maybe he's talking about what's on his iPod.
Maybe.
Or his floppy. What's on your floppy? That's our new tweet topic. What is on your floppy? He also said TDK now make electrical components. Actually, our producer Wendell turned around and told us they make professional video camera
and memory cards.
Oh,
this is educational radio, isn't it? It's fantastic.
Oh, yes,
I'll have to come again. Yeah.
There you go. Gary Fletcher has tweeted in saying, "Why Saws over Abdu? Is it just height, as Abdu is a far better player?" #Dons.
Very good point, Gary. Gary is the season master. That's his nickname.
Is he?
Yes.
What's that?
He'll know. I'll tell you afterwards, Aaron. But that's a very good point. I had this discussion with my friends yesterday. That why Tom Saws is a very strong player on the ball. He's quite a physical kind of guy. I would have thought Jimmy Abdu isn't. I can think that's for me, the reason why he's in the team over Jimmy, because Jimmy does kind of what Tom Saws does, just quicker. And that's the one thing with Liam Trotter's not a fast player. Tom's not very fast. Those two players between them, there's not much pace. I'm not criticising them. They're decent players. They're just not very fast. And the ball doesn't move quick enough. With Dean Parrott in there, it does. But you've got a quick midfield player with two slower ones. It's very difficult to move the ball around. And that's why Bishop yesterday was was so influential in the game. I think with Jimmy Abdul on the pitch, I don't think Bishop would have had that control of the game in the second half.
I've been disappointed this year, actually, because I was heard a lot of good things about Jimmy from Mill fans who loved him loved him at Mill and still do. I'm glad we haven't played him as much, actually. I think it reminds me of Danny Bullman, sort of. He reads the game so well. It is difficult, though, the way we play that midfield. I like Tom Sawers also. If I push come to shove, I play Jimmy instead. Just because of that, he's a very busy player. He gets around. Yeah. You know, Trotter and Sawers don't look like they're moving too much sometimes, do they? But again, as I think I'm Trotter's champion this year, I think Trotter was good again yesterday. And the old Boo Boys have gone very much away from him now, which is quite pleasing.
Well, since Christmas, I think he would be... I know we're going to discuss Player of the Year. Are we still going to discuss Player of the Year?
Yeah, of course.
I think since Christmas, I would have him third as being the Player of the Year. Before Christmas, I wouldn't have had him in the top 10.
I just really wanted Sauce to do well, so everyone would re-nickname him Suarez.
Well, it should be Suarez, isn't it? Because wherever their heritage, it should be Suarez. Because his brother Louis Suarez was originally Louis Suarez from Palace fans, I know, but they changed the Suarez because people were mispronouncing it. So Tom also changed his name, the pronunciation to Suarez.
Well,
there you go. Thought I'd add that.
He plays like a Suarez, you know.
Yes. But yeah, I'd Player of the Year. I think Liam Trotter's been a lot better since Christmas, much better. He's scoring goals, he's getting forward. He's been a lot more involved. He's not an aggressive person, is he? That's the one thing. If he was it's like the same issue with Emil Heskey. Heskey was a fantastic player, was not an aggressive person off the pitch, apparently.
No, he spoke very softly.
Yeah. That's the point. Yeah. Liam Trotter speaks very softly.
I scored 3 goals again.
But Liam Trotter is apparently a really nice guy. Yeah, you'd want him on your side because he's a huge... I walked past him, I think the Brentford game when he was injured. I walked past him and just realised that's an enormous man. He's huge.
But hold on, on the flip side, don't you want those big characters? We were talking about Akin Fenwood. Don't you want those big characters to be shouting around and clambering around the dressing room? Yeah. To be fair, what one sort of Vinnie Jones would do, or one, just a big presence, a Laurie Sanchez, someone like that will go in there and just go for it. Yeah. You need someone to knock some heads together, don't you?
Yeah, we don't have that.
No, we don't. I want someone who's a bit nasty, who will have no problem calling out anybody. Darius Charles does that. Darius Charles is quite happy to call out even Barry Fuller and stuff like that. But yeah, I think recruitment isn't just so much about their ability, it's also their on field. I think the dressing room this year would benefit from a player like that.
Yeah. Back on the socials, you guys have been brilliant. At Love Sport Radio on Twitter, Mark has got in touch and said Dean Parrott and Harry Forrester as a midfield pairing throughout the season would have been the attacking threat that we have lacked all season. Shame it didn't work out due to Parrott's injury. Do you think Dino will be with us next season? I certainly hope so.
In one word, no, I can't see Dean Parrott being here next year.
No.
I think, it depends who's going to be in. If Neil Hardy's here next year, Dean Parrott will not be here as well. I can guarantee that. But if anyone else comes in, you've got to find a role for Dean Parrott. The problem with Dean Parrott, he doesn't do it enough consistently. Yesterday he was brilliant, but he doesn't do that consistently, and we need to get a balance between him on the ball, off the ball. On the ball, he's brilliant. What I would say to Mark there is Harry Forrester and Dean Parrott in the same midfield would scare me because it'd be great going forward, but it'd be the same case of, we'll score 5 if you score 4.
We certainly score more goals. I think Dino went off with an injury yesterday. A lot of people were quite upset by him coming off, but so I stand behind the dugout, and as he was sitting down, they put ice on his knee. I believe it was it anyway, but he was definitely limping as he came off. Don't forget Dean Parrott's a £1 million player. Spurs paid £1 million for him, admittedly when he's 14, but he's a very, very good player. In the Meet the Manager session in July, Neil said that Dean Parrott needs to earn his trust this season. Unfortunately, because he's been injured since October, he's not really had the chance to do that, and I think, sadly, that injury at Oxford, which is an innocuous injury as well, I think that might have spelled the end of it. I really hope it doesn't. I'd love to see him, whether we're in League 1 or League 2 next season. I think Dean Parrott should be at the club. I don't think it will be.
Let's review League 1. Walsall win was unfortunate, but otherwise not too bad. Rochdale deny it late. The mob from 70 miles away battered.
Yeah, it was a shame.
In a chip shot. It was beautiful. Stuff. Goal after goal.
Wasn't enough. 5 was not enough.
No, 5 was definitely not enough. Oldham and Oxford took points of each other, but some big games Tuesday. Oxford, Fleetwood, Rochdale, Wigan, Blackpool, Northampton. Will Oxford head into the bottom 4 by the time we're at the end of the season?
You wouldn't put money on them staying up, I wouldn't have thought. They do seem... There's always one club that falls from mid-table who feel they've done enough by the end of February. I'm hoping... I'm hoping that's not us, but Oxford are looking poor. They seem to have stumbled into some poor form, and my friend... I've got two friends who go to Oxford, both called Chris, not happy with the appointment of Robinson, and he doesn't seem to have galvanised the team of anything.
It's amazing how he's left Charlton, Kev, and... There's such a buzz about the place now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's something about him. I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously his association with the other club up the road is always going to taint him in Wimbledon supporters' eyes, but he does seem a divisive character.
In my opinion, with Robinson, especially with Charlton, I think he felt, they felt that he was sort of holding them to ransom because it was a case of, you need me more than I need you. You know, and everyone was worried, are they going to get new owners? Is Harry Kewell going to be a worse fit than him? Well, you know what? Lee Bowyer looks like a cracking fit there already.
Yeah. Done a great job, isn't he? That's why the game was so dangerous for us on Tuesday. It's interesting because Jose is a decent player for them, but he bombed him out, didn't he, in Robinson, and you wonder whether he had a conflict with him or stuff like that. Hey, look, I don't know Robinson, and there's obviously a reason for that, but his next job is the most important. Your reputation becomes very tainted if you don't do things, and the last thing you want to do is... I don't think he's ready for a relegation battle, so if Oxford do get caught up in it, it's great for us, because there's always a club that drops in, isn't expecting a relegation battle, and has no idea how to fight, and the more clubs we can bring down into it, the better.
Yeah. Do you think that's necessarily his fault that they're in a relegation battle? Because, let's be fair, he took over a bit of an ailing squad, didn't he?
Yeah, no, I don't. He's just... That awful cliche of a new manager bounce, they just hasn't happened, has it? I think they needed something. They sacked Pep Clotet when they were about 11th, which seemed a strange thing. But having said that, Scunthorpe sacked Alexander when they were 5th. There's been some strange sacking decisions. Yeah. They needed to do something, and they had... Was it Fasakali in charge for a bit? He did okay. They just had... It's just not had the desired effect. That's the danger. What's the Ardley In campaign, that's their... What they say, isn't it? Well, you could get rid of the manager and do no better or do worse, like West Brom.
I was about to say, Pardew's...
Yeah, exactly. They did far worse.
I think they're still waiting for Pardew's bounce, new manager bounce.
They are. But again, apparently under yesterday, Darren Moore, they played a lot better, West Brom. So, I don't know. But there's pluses and minuses to everybody's decision, and yes, we could have got rid of Neil Ardley in March and got somebody else in. We could have got, I don't know, Mark Robinson from the development squad, got him in, and we could have done fantastically well, or we could have lost 5 games in a row, who knows.
At Love Sport Radio on Twitter, you can have your say as we approach the final 10 minutes of the show. We're going to be previewing the Charlton fixture next.
558 AM, Love Sport.
Back on Love Sport Radio for another 5 or so minutes talking AFC Wimbledon. Let's look ahead to the fixture on Tuesday. It's the Dons against Charlton at Kingsmeadow. I mean, as must-wins sort of go, this is the must-win of must-wins, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
That equaliser on Saturday.
Charlton lost in 5. Just to give you a stat, I know we were talking before, Kevin, about all the stats we got are negative, but Charlton, no loss in 5 games.
They suddenly come back into form. Is it Aribo, their young striker?
Joe Aribo, yeah.
Has just come into form, and they've got a good squad anyway. Yeah, Bowyer seems to be an inspired choice, but he's a Charlton... He's that idea of... Again, I'm talking other people's cliches, but that people say you cut them, a player down the middle and they bleed. Insert name of club. Charlton would be him, wouldn't he? He's that kind of person. He's famous for his fights with Kieran Dyer. He's famous for chucking a bin through McDonald's window. But what he was is a very, very good footballer.
Yeah,
and he seemed to be a very good coach.
He was a very fiery player, wasn't he?
And a good fisherman.
Really?
Doesn't he own he owns some kind of? Yeah. He owns a lake in France, doesn't he? What a great thing done with his career. But I think tomorrow Tuesday's going to be a very, very tough game. It really is. We beat them in the cup. But you look at the side that we beat in the Cup, and they made 8 changes, I think, or 7 changes from the previous league game, then this is going to be almost completely different.
Momentum is such a fine thing. They've got momentum, Wimbledon haven't. Yeah. I don't think Wimbledon have momentum all season. It seemed like it was going up, and I think it was turn of the year.
January was a month.
That was maybe the small bit of momentum.
Yeah.
I don't know. 15 years, Womble has tweeted in very quickly. Are we expecting a chop and change in the team for the Charlton match? Which match is more important for our best players to stay fit, for Walsall or Charlton? That's a great question.
You take the game that's in front of you. I think you have to. 6 games to go. Obviously, when the game goes on Tuesday night, you're down to 5. Obviously, that's quite an easy calculation to do.
It's good maths, though, Stu.
I like that. But what I mean by that is, as you get closer to your current game is the most important game. You can't. I chat to people yesterday going, well, that's okay. We beat Bury, we beat Oldham, we get some of Wigan. So I'm saying that. But when you get to that, you take the game in front of you. Charlton go at high pace. I don't think we change the squad around too much unless we've got injuries. If Joe Piggott's back, I'd like to go 2 up front. But yeah, we just got to use.
That's a good point. People, fans that I speak to say, "Oh, we'll be fine. We've only got to win 3 of our last 6. We've only won 12 of our last 50. So what makes people think we're going to win half of our remaining games? I mean, it defies mathematical logic. But that's what football fans do, isn't it? You just presume your team are going to win. We'll have Bury below us. Bury are relegated. Let's admit that. Last game of the season. If we have to beat anyone, let's beat the team at the bottom. But maybe Bury will go out on a high. They've got nothing to lose, and maybe it's the worst team to play.
Yeah, I think Wigan's not a great game to have. The Doncaster game, the fact we finished the season in the last week of away to Wigan, away to Doncaster, home to Bury, if we need to go into the Wigan game needing 2 wins, then you're in trouble, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? And that's why I say that the game coming up is the most important. Let's beat Charlton. If we get a win against Charlton, all of a sudden the point on Saturday, as Will Nightingale said after the game yesterday, becomes a great point.
We look at people saying, "Oh, well, Rochdale have got a game in hand, and Oldham have got a game in hand." It's against each other. That's the good thing. I think it's next week or Tuesday week. Yeah. Oldham Rochdale. That's the big game. That's probably a more important game than any game we're playing. Although we've got to look after our own fate. That's a huge game for us.
The main thing we need to do is make sure that whatever happens in the season, them from Buckinghamshire go down, and goal difference will be even better. As well, that's the main thing we've got to set up.
Beautiful.
It'd be great. It'd be a great day for
football. Whatever happens, I'd just love to see that be the biggest and the emptiest stadium in League 2, wouldn't it?
League 2 football at the Bowl.
At the Bowl. Pop down, have a stay next door.
Milton Keynes versus Macclesfield, first game of the season, 900 people there. That would be...
Pop in for your meatballs pre-game across the road. Do your shopping while you're at it. Yeah. At Love Sport Radio, these fine gentlemen have tweeted back and said, thanks for the commentary, guys. Looking forward to Tuesday's game. Dons have 3 points coming to them. Great optimism there from these fine guys. You guys have been brilliant. Kev, you can come back.
Thank you. That's very kind. I'd love to come back. Thank you very much.
Stuart, you can come back.
I look forward to it.
Mrs. Stuart, you can come back. You've been sitting in the corner silent, laughing. You can come back as well. Go home and have a couple of Yorkshire Spoons. Nice one. Put your feet up. Guys, it's been brilliant. It's been the most. The 9 Years podcast on Love Sport Radio, 5:58 a.m. Thank you very much to everyone who's got in touch with us tonight. You've been brilliant as well.